All right, let's look at something that I actually haven't read yet. This is going to be a blind first look at the new TCG World Premiere theme, GMX, the new dinosaur theme, which apparently not all of them are dinosaurs, as I'm seeing one of them is a warrior. But these were also revealed in the stream. So let's take a look at GMX. I literally have no idea what this archetype does and whether it's good or not. Let's just try to go at it like open-minded and see what we've got here. Actually, I think they have the text down here. That's easier to read. Yeah, okay. So the one on the left, GMX Researcher Solande, or Soland, I don't know, level 3 Fire Warrior. Fire Warrior might have some implications because of Noble Knights. There's ways to search Fire Warriors, I think, like the Durandal or Rhoda, of course. If this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a non-warrior GMX monster or a level 3 or lower dinosaur monster from your deck. Oh. Okay. Misk is full Infernoble combo now. Okay, no spoilers, no spoilers. But no. If this card is special summoned by a monster effect, you can add a GMX spell trap from your deck to your hand. If a dinosaur fusion monster is on the field, you can shuffle this card from the field into the deck. And if you do, negate the effects of a face-up card on the field until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. All right, this would have been a good bonus effect if it was a quick effect. Only being able to do it on your own turn is kind of mediocre. There's no locks on this card, so my brain just went like, this is just tour guide for dinosaurs, right? This summons Rex for hire, for example. That's a really strong starter for fur hires. So like no matter what happens with the rest of these cards, like that is a good card. For some decks. Which is interesting, right? Yeah, it's not negated, so you can special Rex and search a card. Like that's not bad. And there's probably other applications for it with dinosaurs, right? You can special the what is the little dinosaur called that pops one and then searches the pill? The Animadorned Archosaur or something is what it's called. I think you can summon that. There's probably other uses for it. And that's interesting, you know? And it's a fire monster, which opens up Promethean Princess plays to any combo that you do, because it doesn't have any locks. So like, let's say you're playing for hire, you can use this, and then you can also end on Promethean Princess somehow and stuff like that. You know, there's things here. Solid start. I don't know how easy you can do the other things. Like if this card is special by a monster effect, you can add a spell trap, blah, blah. That's a good effect to have if it's easy to summon, but that's something we have to see. But for now, could have been a worse start. Could have been a worse start. Okay. Returned Dino Danin. So this is not a GMX card directly. Level 1 Water Dinosaur. If this card is specialed by a monster effect, you can add a GMX monster from your deck to your hand. Oh. Okay. Oh, that's a good target for Misk, no? Level 1 Dino? Level 1 Dino is a really, really broken target for Misk. On special summon, just add a monster. Okay. During your main phase, you can fusion summon a dinosaur Oh, they got fusions. They got of course, it wouldn't be a TCG exclusive without fusions. It's either... Guys, you have to pick one of two. Either it's Mitsurugi or it's fusions. During your main phase, fusion summon a dinosaur fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. If this card is sent to the grave, you can make all dinosaurs control gain 400. Okay. Okay. I mean, the most broken effect, or the best effect on this card is the first one. Special summon it with Misk or with any other thingy. We can summon it with this card, I guess, with Soland, and then search a GMX monster, and then we can perform a fusion summon. So this, honestly, I'm trying really hard not to cope on TCG exclusive archetypes anymore, but just like in a vacuum, both of these cards are pretty good so far. So far, so good. Okay, we've got more main deck monsters. We've got GMX Chairman Kimridge, which is a level 4 psychic, not level 3, so cannot summon it with teleport. You can reveal this card in your hand, add a GMX Applied Experiment number 55 from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and if you do, shuffle this card into the deck. Okay, that is a card we're going to have to read in a second. If this card is special summoned by a monster effect, you can target 2 cards in your grave that are GMX cards and or dinosaurs, place them on top of your deck in any order, then you can destroy an attack position monster your opponent controls. You can only use each effect once per turn. The quality of this card 100% depends on how good this card is. Period. If this card is good, then this card is good, basically. So let's keep reading for now. GMX Associate Noma, level 4 Dark Reptile effect monster, 900 attack, 1300 defense. If this card is specialed by a monster effect, you can target 1 card each from your grave and your opponent's grave. Place each card on either the top or bottom of the deck. If a monster is normal or special to your opponent's field while this card's in your monster zone, you can fusion summon a GMX fusion by shuffling monsters from field, grave, and their banishment into the deck. This card seems clunky. This is the brick of the deck, isn't it? It doesn't do anything on its own. Oh, it has to be summoned by a monster effect. And is like a maybe a decent endboard piece if you have it at the end of the combo, but like this seems like a very clunky card. This seems like a very clunky card. Okay, this is definitely the worst one so far. It is the Fuva half-board synergy. Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's read the fusions. GMX Alos, level 8 light dinosaur fusion effect monster, 3000 attack, 900 defense, requires a GMX monster and a dinosaur monster. Each time your opponent normal or special summons a monster, gain 200 life points. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can target a GMX monster or dinosaur monster in your grave or banishment, special summon it. This card cannot attack the turn you activate this. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can destroy that monster. Okay, what I'm reading here is irrelevant effect, reborn, and irrelevant effect. So this is just a fusion that you're going to use to revive a monster. Which is decent in this deck because they all trigger when they're special summoned, or some of them. So that, like, you use one of them as fusion materials, then you can bring it back to trigger its effect. Okay, sure. Nothing too crazy here, though. Like, a fusion monster that summons a card from your grave is nothing outrageous, nothing crazy, nothing powerful. It's okay. If the rest of the deck is good, then this card is fine. If the rest of the deck is bad, then this card will not make it better. Okay. And then we have GMX Velox, a level 8 Dark Dinosaur. Also needs a GMX monster and a dinosaur monster. Each time your opponent normal or specials, gain 200. During your opponent's turn. By the way, this effect is... these types of effects are randomly super annoying to keep up with in, like, physical trading card games. Which is, like... It's not too powerful or anything like that. This is not, like, a complaint in terms of the... the power of the card. It's just like, this is the kind of thing where, like, you sit there and every time your opponent moves, you have to, like, note it down on your life points pad, which is, like, a little annoying, you know? And it's gonna cause some game states where you just forget to do it a couple of times and then it's weird. Yeah, okay, but okay. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can target a card your opponent controls, excavate the top cards of your deck until you excavate a GMX monster or a dinosaur monster, lose 400 life points for each excavated card. Add that GMX monster to your hand and shuffle the rest into the deck. Also, after that, destroy the card. You can only use this effect once per turn. This card's awesome. This is an awesome piece of interaction. You get to destroy a card, and you get to create follow-up or summon a monster onto the field. This is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool interaction piece, pretty cool endboard piece. Not like a lazy negate or anything like that, but it's pretty cool. Like that a lot. And also, I'm starting to see. I feel like the gimmick is they're gaining life points because you can potentially lose a lot of life points for this effect, right? Like, you excavate until you hit a GMX monster or dinosaur. If you get unlucky and reveal a lot of spell traps or hand traps or anything else, like, you might lose a lot of life points for these effects, right? So So I guess that's why the life points gain is here. I will say, I think it's a fun idea. I do appreciate that the dinosaur deck works with excavation. I think that's a cool gimmick. I think that's a neat thing. I appreciate that. Okay. I like that card. That's a neat endboard piece to have. And then the last card for now, because we get 7 cards for the first wave. We have 4 main deck monsters, 2 fusion monsters, and the GMX Applied Experiment 55. Normal spell card, excavate the top cards of your deck until you have excavated a GMX monster and the dinosaur monster. Lose 400 life points for each excavated card. Then you can fusion summon a GMX fusion monster from your extra deck using the excavated monsters as material. Also shuffle the rest into the deck. Ah. Ooh. That's good. This is like, dude, this is like gambling branded fusion. This is Gamba branded fusion. Because you don't know what you're gonna fuse with. This is cool. You could, dude. Someone after this deck releases is gonna sit down at the table, activate this card as the first action in the main phase, excavate no GMX monster for 20 cards, and just die. That is gonna happen, and you know it's gonna happen. Someone is gonna excavate 20 non-GMX monsters or spells or whatever and just lose. Which is kind of funny. Can you ash this? You can ash this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the same wording as branded fusion because you're like using fusion material from the deck. I think you fusion summon by sending them from deck to grave. I think excavating doesn't change the fact that they are coming from the deck. I think excavating is the same. Like if you excavate 3 cards and then add 1 to your hand, that can still get ashed. You can. I think you can. I'm not 100% sure though. But yeah. But branded fusion says send specifically. Yes, but it might be that like a fusion summon by definition sends the cards to the graveyard. So that could be the argument of like, because this card allows you to perform a fusion summon with material from the deck that will send them to the grave. I don't know. I can't say you for sure. I can't tell you for sure. I'm not sure. Branded fusion text. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster that mentions Albaz as material from your extra deck using 2 monsters from your hand, deck, or field. Okay, so the chatter made that up. It does not mention send. Yeah, no, it's the same thing. It's the same as branded fusion. That's what I thought. All right. It is time once again to say the things that just happen to always be true when they reveal a first wave of TCG exclusive archetypes. They've got some good cards, genuinely. The fusion spell is really strong. It's basically branded fusion with some extra steps and some gambling involved, but really strong card. The fusion monsters are only okay. There's nothing too crazy here. You know, we've got like a reborn and a interruption. So fine, but nothing too crazy. The main deck monsters, some of them are mediocre. I think Noma is by far the worst card revealed. I think this card is really, really weak, all things considered, but okay. Chairman is good because the spell is good. However, the spell is once per turn, so I feel like this deck is lacking plays. You know, like what are we doing here with GMX? We activate this fusion spell and then we're done, right? Like we can't do anything else unless you pair this with other Dino stuff. Like, yeah, maybe this is an engine that can go into other Dino decks. Maybe this creates a new, instead of being its own deck, this creates a new direction for Dino decks to go in. You play like OV Raptor and Misk and Babies and stuff, and then like somehow this works together. Maybe I don't know exactly if that's gonna work or not, but that is one way you could see this deck. Like a Dinosaur Link Fusion deck. I don't know. These have no locks on them, so they don't stop you from doing other things in the Dino deck. Like I remember some Dino decks were doing combos with like Scrap Wyvern or whatever. Like that can still work because you got no locks on here. So maybe Dinos gets a little bit of a boost from this. The cards themselves, especially the first two, these two are pretty high quality cards. Not even exclusively in this deck. Like, yes, they are good in this deck, but both of these cards have like some generic potential as well, especially the first one, because it is a fire warrior that tutors out any level 3 or dinosaur from your deck. So you can like search it with Rhoda, so you can play at least 4 copies of it. And it summons Rex for hire. It summons Animadorned Archosaur. So like there's a world where this card is just solid. You know, this card could just be solid in other decks and could see play. So this is at the minimum that we're going to take away from this deck or from this archetype is that this card is going to be an option moving forward for certain strategies. It's like it's tour guide for dinosaurs basically, which is not bad. It's also not insane though, because let's be real, tour guide came out 15 years ago almost. So like a tour guide for dinosaur is not like groundbreaking, but it is good. And this card could see some play or has synergy with like Misk. So, and it's clearly meant to have synergy with Misk. There's no way you make a level 1 dinosaur and don't realize, like a level 1 dinosaur that says if this card is specialed by a monster effect, of course it's meant to work with Miscellaneousaurs. So yeah. There's no way, there is simply no way, 0%, that this deck is playable with the first wave as a pure GMX deck. It simply does not have the tools that a modern Yu-Gi-Oh deck needs to be playable. So once again, some of these cards are cool. I like the idea. I'm a fan of dinosaurs. You know, I think it's cool artworks. I think it's a cool gimmick. You know, excavating dinosaurs is a fun idea, really, genuinely. I think that's awesome. There's good cards here. There's a cool concept. Some of them are can be used in a generic way, but nothing here is playable with 7 cards. We have to wait and see for the second wave. From the looks of it, if this is accurate in their stream, there is no secret rares here whatsoever. There's not even an ultra rare. So these are all commons or super rares. Nothing here has gold or secret rare text like name. So at least there's that. You know, at least there's that, because that means you're not gonna have to like guess whether you should invest in these or not. I always hate when that's the case, when like some cards are ultra or secret and you don't know like, hey, should I pick these up or should I not? At least there's no risk attached to these, you know, like you can just pick up the super rares and the commons if you like the theme of it. And if the support is good, then, you know, there's that. Yeah, I like him. I like the theme, but competitively, there's nothing here yet, except for some generically useful cards. But GMX as a deck just won't exist until we get more support, is the unfortunate truth here. The spell to make Allos is technically an E-Telly for any dino from the deck, but only the one you hit, so you cannot decide which one. There's another problem with this card as like a generic splash in other decks, is that you're excavating until you hit a GMX monster. You can't just play like a couple copies of GMX monsters, because like let's say you want to play this in a dino deck and you decide to play 3 GMX Applied Experiment and 3 copies of the Chairman to search it, and that is your only GMX in your deck. Like, you're playing 3 copies of this card, but like, I don't know if that's worth the risk. What if, after you shuffle this back into your deck, what if the 3 copies of the Chairman are in the bottom half of your deck? You literally lose the game. You literally lose the game. I don't know exactly what the odds are for this, but they're not zero, and they're not super small. Like, there is definitely a chance that all 3 copies of the Chairman are in like the bottom 15 cards of your deck, and then you just take 8,000 damage and instantly lose the game. So I don't think, maybe this is what this is here for. Maybe this is here to discourage people from just playing this as a generic card in any deck. Where you just, because you are right, you could do this, right? You could play 3 copies of the fusion spell, 3 copies of the Chairman, and then any like dinosaur that you really want to access, because it's let's use Fur Hire as an example. Okay, let's use Rex Fur Hire as an example. Technically, you can use 3 GMX Applied Experiment, 3 GMX Chairman Kimridge, and 3 GMX Researcher Soland, which is 9 cards that all are starters. They all work in Fur Hire. And then Fur Hire is like, all you're trying to do is use these as starters to get Rex, right? And then you have 9 starters, and then you activate this, and the only dino in your deck is Rex. So if Rex is in the bottom 15 cards of your deck, you die, right? Which is a little risky, but if it pays off, then it's a pretty strong start, right? The odds is 4.6%. If I'm just going to choose to believe you right now, because that seems like it could be the right ballpark if you just have 3 copies of either a dinosaur or GMX. That's, I don't know if you would do it. Like a 5%, would you activate a card that's like either a good starter or you lose with 5% chance, like instantly lose the game? And here's the thing, right? You don't even have to like instantly lose 8,000 life points to lose the game off of it. Like you could also lose the game because you hit like, it takes you 18 cards to get there, and then you have 800 life points left. You know, you have 800 life points left, and that's that. Isn't that lower than Paradise? You know what? Good point. But the problem, like the reason why it doesn't quite compare to Paradise Smasher is Paradise Smasher literally read win the game. On the other hand, right? Like it's like 90 something percent to win, it was like 2% to tie and 8% to lose. But this one is like, you don't instantly win the game if it resolves, right? It's like, it's a good starter, right? It's a high quality card if you start with it, but it's not like you instantly win if you resolve your fusion spell, right? So it's not quite the same as Paradise Smasher. But this is all theory, right? I think but this is a good point actually. Like this is a generic package. If you have a deck that has like a couple of really good dinosaurs that you want to access from your deck, right? Playing 3 copies of the Researcher, 3 copies of the Chairman, and 3 copies of the Field Spell is a pretty good package. There's no bricks in here. All 9 of those get you started, right? All 9 of those cards let you play, let you combo basically, right? Which is pretty interesting. And you can play Rhoda, so that would be 10. It would be 10 starters that all get you to your dinosaur starter, right? It's not a field spell. Oh, yeah, I meant fusion spell, not field spell. Not bad. No, this is, as a generic package, the more I'm looking at it, this is genuinely not bad. This is genuinely not bad. But as a deck itself, it's not a working concept yet, I suppose. But okay. Does it lock you in any way? There's no locks whatsoever on here. The only drawback / payment is like you lose life points depending on how many cards you excavate, which I guess a more interesting question could also be like, what is the average amount of life points that you lose? Let's just say you have 6 copies of GMX in your deck. You play 3 Chairman and 3 Soland. And then let's say you have one good dino, right? One playset of dinos. That you want to hit, like Rex. Let's say Rex for hire. It's the one example I can think of. Let's say we have 6 GMX monsters, 3 Rex in the deck. How many life points on average do you lose until you hit both? Because if like the average is like you excavate 10 cards, then you lose 4,000 life points for this card, which could be, it's like Hero Lives, right? But there's 2 different Rex. Oh, is the new Rex also a dinosaur? Hold up. That would make the odds a lot better to also not die, to not kill yourself. The new Rex is also a dinosaur. Oh, but that's actually not good, I think. Wait, is that good or bad? Because this card is basically then you miss, basically. You don't want to hit that one. This is not the one you want if you, the new Rex is cracked. Well, okay, I guess it does give you like some insulation into like Fuba or whatever. But it's not something you want to tutor to your field, do you? It's like, it's not a starter, rather. Is what I'm trying to say. It's not necessarily a starter. You would prefer to hit the little Rex. Oh yeah. Can the GMX fusion add it back? No, you special summon it. You don't add it back. It can also hit the level 1 dino. Which level? Is there another for higher dino? Rex. This is not a dino. This is not a dino. This is reptile. This is dragon. Winged beast. Oh, the new dino. Oh, the GMX dino. Right. But you probably don't want to play that, do you? In this version of the engine, you wouldn't want to play the new dino. Like this is not something you would want to hit, I think. But yeah, okay. All right, the more you look into this, the more interesting it becomes, I think, as an engine in other decks. That is something to maybe work with. That honestly, I could see that being a thing in some decks that use those cards as like a starter for dino plays in general. It doesn't change the fact that GMX itself is not a playable deck yet, but as an engine, I could see it being interesting. You would add Saland for Rex, and then Saland level 1 dino makes the new Trident guy. Yeah, but like at this point, you're adding a brick into the deck that doesn't do anything. I think the one thing that I find interesting about these cards is that there's no brick here, right? 3 of this, 3 of this, and 3 of this, and everything's a starter. No bricks attached, no locks attached, no drawbacks. It's all good, right? That's what's interesting here, I think. I don't know if I would want to add, of course, yeah, you can make it fancy. This is modern Yu-Gi-Oh in a nutshell though, right? This is something that you can do in almost any deck. Like, hey, if you add more bricks to the deck, you have more ceiling. Guess what? That's what you can always do that, I guess. But like, I would like this to be as consistent and as powerful as an engine as possible. But yeah, this deck is a 1-card Habakiri combo. Okay. I'm afraid to ask, how does it search Habakiri? How does it search Habakiri, please? Please enlighten me. You want the link? Just tell me what you're doing, what they're doing. Pop a level 8 fusion with Animadorned. Oh! Yeah. No, I see what you. Yep, I see where you're coming. Yep, yeah. I see it. If this card is normal or special, you can destroy a dinosaur monster in your hand or face-up field. Add a reptile, sea serpent, or winged beast with the same level from your deck to your... Okay. Oh my god. Oh. Dude, stop. Oh man. It's so funny because like I've never really seen this card see play or search anything that wasn't an evolution pill. I think it happened for the first time. It happened to me when I was testing with Tinkabui before YCS Lil when he was using the Jurak cards in Fire King. Is when I learned that this can search monsters as well. Like it searches Ponix if you pop the level 1 Jurak. That's something that I've seen for the first time. I think I've seen anyone search a monster with this card when we tested for YCS Lil. But yeah, it searches reptile, sea serpent, and winged beasts. I guess. It means Misk is a 1-card Habakiri. Okay, discard Misk, activate Misk, search Dino Deneen. Dino Deneen searches a GMX monster. So you search Saland. Normal summon Saland, special summon Animadorned Archosaur. Don't activate the effect. Then you use Deneen effect to fuse into the Allos with the Archosaur and the GMX monster. And then you use this to revive the Archosaur, and you pop the Allos to it's 1-card Habakiri. It's 1-card Habakiri, uses your normal summon, but it's 1-card Habakiri with 2 bodies on the field already. Because you're gonna have the Dino on the board, and you're gonna have the Animadorned on the board at the end of it. I promise the issue here is not Archosaur. I know. Yeah, the issue is not Archosaur. I guess it's a good rule of thumb. If people are trying their hardest to come up with combos to search one specific card in a billion of different ways, there is maybe an indicator somewhere here that, like, if the goal of all those combos is to search Habakiri, then maybe Habakiri is a problem. I blame Misk genuinely. I mean, Misk is also a pretty powerful card. Yeah, I mean, Misk is make your stuff unaffected and also emergency teleport for a dinosaur. That's also really powerful. Yeah. That means Oviraptor and Fossil Dig is also Habakiri. Oviraptor isn't, right? Because you need your normal summon for the Saland, I think, to get the Archosaur out of your deck. There's a very distinct lack of real locks on all the GMX cards. Genuinely, I agree with you. I think that's problematic because right now, this deck, no proper locks, not even a proper game plan. This is just engine material for other decks. Nothing else. There is nothing else here, trust me. So far, this is all it can do. It cannot be played as a GMX deck. It can just be used in other decks to enable their combos. Right now, the lock is like, haha, you have to play GMX cards. Yeah, and you have to pay life points, a variable amount. Sometimes 800, sometimes 8,000. Yeah. Is there any other deck that has like a level 3 or lower dinosaur that it really wants to access? Because the most obvious example I can think of is For Hire. I think in For Hire this could be used as a starter. Is there another deck where a level 3 or lower dinosaur is really, really good? Jurak? Sure, Jurak is valid. It is a fire, so like Fire King Jurak, maybe you can do something with it. Jurak has an insane bridge with these. Materiactor. I mean, Dino. I mean, yeah, of course, Dinosaur as a deck as a whole. But I'm just like looking at, because in the case of For Hire, it's just like, in the case of For Hire, it's like, it's a deck that has a lot of different types, and just the Dinosaur level 2 just happens to be one of the best starters in it, right? So having an engine that without a lock gets you that card is pretty good. Is there another deck like that where it just happens to have a Dinosaur in there? In Materiactor, it is a level 3 tour guide in a rank 3 deck. Yeah, that seems like a good card for Materiactor. I agree. Not sure if that's what Materiactor needed, but it's a good card. Maybe some Carboneddin shenanigans. Ooh, yeah, I remember Carboneddin. Jurak is Fiendsmith combo and board wipe. That in general, right? Level 3 is Fiendsmith material because of the rank 3 Jin, right? Like if you summon a level 3 with this that does something for you, this might be starter plus Fiendsmith combo. Yeah. There's only 29 level 3 or lower dinos. Interesting. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything that I'm feeling right now. It's a little bit disappointing because that's just what happens when you only do 7 cards for a new archetype. That's just not enough to make it good. So like as a pure deck, disappointing. A little bit of excitement because the cards are kind of cool and like I can see some interesting ways to use them. At the same time, a little bit scared because there's 0 locks on them. So I'm a little bit scared of what might happen with these. Because the fusion spell is like really generic as well. But yeah. Little bit of everything. A little bit of a mixed bag of feelings on this archetype, right? Like a little scared, a little disappointed, a little cool. I'm not convinced if these were even made to be a pure deck. It's just dino good stuff. Yeah, I mean, it feels intended, right? It's like, come on, at this point, like, this has got to be intentional, right? Like, you know when you make a modern Yu-Gi-Oh deck like this, you know this is not a deck, right? You know you cannot, this deck has one pop. It has one play that can get ashed, and it ends on one endboard piece. Exactly one, right? So it's like, you can't expect this to be playable right out of the box, right? I mean, maybe with the second wave, there's a world, but like, at so far, this is intended to be an engine. But like the GMX bridge into Mitsu isn't even bad, right? I mean, it's one brick, right? The arcs, you have, no, it's multiple bricks, right? The dino does nothing if you draw it, and the Archosaur also does nothing if you draw it. So yes, it's not a great bridge. Wait. Wait, this is well, hold up. Let me say something that I'm gonna regret saying right after I said it. I just now realized this card is not only one card Mitsu, it's also one card Mitsu and Yummy. Because after you search Habakiri with this entire thing, you have 2 level 1s on the board. Come on, man. No, we can't do that again. We can't do that. We can't have that. So you normal summon, all right, hear me out. You normal summon Saland, activate effect, special Dino Deneen from the deck. Dino Deneen, no wait, the Misk. You activate Misk in the graveyard, special Dino Deneen from the deck. Dino Deneen searches Saland. Normal summon Saland, special summon Animadorned Archosaur from your deck. Don't activate the effect. Activate Dino Deneen's effect to fusion summon. Combine Saland and Archosaur to make Alos, and then use Alos to reborn the Archosaur from your grave. Then that triggers the Archosaur, because it was special summoned, to destroy the Alos to search Habakiri. At that point, you have Habakiri in hand and level 1 Dino Deneen and Animadorned Archosaur on the board. Make Linkaribo and then make Kapsi Yamiwe. Dude. Is that good? Probably not. Probably not. Because you have to play the Mitsu bricks. You have to play Yami field spells. At least one. Yami Surprise, probably. And you have to play Animadorned Archosaur and the Dino Deneen, which are all bricks. Right? It's all bricks. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. It's absolutely is possible. 100%. Dude, that's crazy. It does lose to Nib completely, right? Actually, no. So your stuff, dude, Misk. It's Misk. Your stuff is unaffected. Your dinos, at least, are unaffected. So it's hard to nib that. Come on, man. I'm a little scared that that's actually a thing now. Now that I've said it out loud, I'm a little scared that it's actually a thing. And I guess this is what I meant when I said Snatchy to 1 is sad for pure Yummy, but better be safe than sorry with all the Yummy bridges and the Yummy hybrids possible. Only 4 starters, it's fine. Okay, so Fossil Dig does it. Misk does it. That's 4. Foolish would do it, but you're not unaffected, so that would be 5. Does the level 3 normal summon do it? I don't think so, because how do you get Animadorned Archosaur? Oh, it works. Okay, hold up. It does work. It does work if you play the full GMX package. Okay, hear me out. Normal summon Saland, special summon Dino Deneen. Dino Deneen searches Chairman. Chairman gets you the fusion spell, and then you activate the fusion spell, and the only dinos in your deck are Misk and Archosaur, right? You don't have any other dinos. So unless you get unlucky and kill yourself with 8,000 damage because you only play 2 dinos in your deck, because there's another dino, which is the Deneen, but that one's not in the deck anymore, so you can't hit that. In theory, okay, let's just ignore the fact that we could take 8,000 damage from this. In theory, you're going to activate this, the Chairman to search the fusion spell, activate the fusion spell. Remember, at this point, our board is the level 3 and the level 1. Activate the fusion spell, excavate. We're going to hit Chairman or Saland and Misk or Animadorned. Doesn't matter which one. Or Oviraptor, I guess, if we play that. But I don't know if Oviraptor is 1-card combo. But it should be. Oviraptor should also work. So activate the fusion spell, excavate a GMX monster, and Misk or Animadorned or Oviraptor. Summon Alos, and then use Alos to revive Archosaur or Oviraptor. Anyway, you get to Archosaur that way. And then that's full combo. That's full Yami Mitsu combo off of any of these starters, right? The fusion spell will do it, probably. Yeah, the fusion spell does it. The Chairman does it. The Researcher does it. Fossil Dig does it. Misk does it. Oviraptor does it. Foolish does it. Rhoda does it because this is a warrior. Dude, that's like 18 starters or some shit. But like, of course, you're playing a lot of bricks. You're playing the Yami bricks, the Dino bricks, the Mitsu bricks. Like it's like the definition of combo slop, right? Which is like some people are gonna play that. I can guarantee you people are gonna mess around with this because there's a lot of combo potential here. It's gonna break a shit ton. But it's technically there's a lot of starters here. It does feel like a Trift deck, yeah. Remove the Yummy and it works better. That's the thing, right? You don't have to play the Yummy cards in that. You could just like play this engine as a way to start Mitsu or whatever else, right? Like there is a lot of things you can do with it. And like you don't even have to search. You don't have to search what's it called? You don't have to search Habakiri with this. I guess it searches any reptile, sea serpent, or winged beast with the levels that you can access, right? Okay. Can you still play Impulse? No, this is a light. You can't play Impulse. This is light. You need this one to bridge with the fusion spell into the one you sent to grave. And this is also light, so no, you cannot. You cannot play Impulse or Purge. Dude, it's funny, right? It's funny and concerning at the same time because on the one hand, this makes these cards definitely more playable and more interesting because if these were just playable as a pure deck, these would just suck. Like we would be done right now if these were just a pure deck, no other applications, right? Which I guess is the main argument of people that like want decks to be splashable like this, right? But still, it's both exciting to discover stuff like this and also concerning at the same time. It's very hard to express what exactly I feel right now, right? Because it's like it's a little bit of both, you know? Like I can see both sides of the argument. The thought process behind discovering this sort of stuff is fun. The problem is like the creativity goes out of the window once someone has discovered it and now everyone is just copying and playing the combo slop. Like maybe the initial process of coming up with the combos and the potential is cool and interesting, but then once it's been discovered, once it is out there, once it's a solved deck, it's just annoying, right? But yeah. The more we're talking about these, the more I feel like there is the potential here to break these in some way, shape, or form, because there's just no locks on anything, and they just like they do a lot of things, right? Like accessing any dinosaur from your deck and printing a bunch of bodies in the process, that's just gotta be good in some way. That's gotta be good in some way. The question is which deck wants this and which deck actually is good because of this, right? And also which deck can get away with the least amount of bricks in the process. The fact that you have like 16 starters for 2 bricks that are only bricks if you draw them alone is pretty good. So Archosaur technically can work as a normal summon, I think, depending on the situation, I guess. Or you can fuse with it with the returned dino. You can fuse with it, and then yeah. Okay. Having this as a bridge isn't problematic because these cards don't add anything to your end board. These are so far pretty much just combo enablers. I mean, you could play the right fusion as well, I guess, which if you already have combo, you can just make this and it is just a pop. So you are right in some ways. This doesn't create like crazy strong end boards on its own. Like that is still something that the other decks would be responsible for. Which is not wrong. Yes, these cards themselves, but like, you know, Snake Eyes is the same thing, right? Snake Eyes didn't have any end board pieces. And all that meant was that Snake Eyes was somewhat dependent on the other things in the format, right? But it's like, okay, well, they had Appaloosa, Savage Baron, IP, Promethean Princess at the time, and Snake Eye was just like a slop engine that could get to all of them. And this is like, it's not Snake Eyes level of powerful, but like it's the same concept, the same idea behind this, right? It's like You just have these are just engine, right? These just produce bodies. They access cards from your deck. They get you going. They perform. Most of them is also, this is a lot of special summoning that doesn't need your normal summon. If you draw the fusion spell or the one that searches the fusion spell, you basically just like fusion summon. It's like branded fusion without a lock. You just like summon the level 8 Allos that reborns a dinosaur for free. Doesn't take your normal summon, doesn't lock you, nothing, right? You send dinos from deck to your grave and then you revive them with Allos. You can do a lot of things with that. That doesn't impact you in any way because you're not locked. You're not normal summoning. The extra deck space needed for this is minimal. It's literally one monster. It's one fusion monster in your extra deck that's needed. Everything else is open. Once again, we've already discovered some of the potential, right? You can do Yummy combo because there's a level 1 here. This is a level 8, so maybe you can do rank 8 stuff with this. You can this could probably zombie vampire. This is probably like it's not unlikely that there's a 1-card zombie vampire here as well. Because you could just play 2 of the fusion monster or both of the fusion monsters, and then the plan is you summon the Allos with the fusion spell. The Allos revives the Danin, and then the Danin makes the other fusion. That's 2 level 8s. Without that's zombie vampire without a normal summon. If you play this break, right? That's also something you can do. So saying it isn't problematic because it doesn't have endboard pieces is not actually correct in my opinion, because just enabling crazy amount of extra deck spam, even without an endboard piece in mind, can still be problematic, because like you're going to do something with that. You're going to find a way in modern Yu-Gi-Oh to turn these into something that wins you the game, right? Like once again, literally, we've talked about this for like a couple minutes now, like 30 minutes max or something, and we've already found like this is Mitsu combo, this is Yummy combo, this is Yummy and Mitsu combo if you want, this is zombie vampire. Like the potential is pretty crazy. It's Fiendsmith. I don't know. I feel like it falls to every hand trap ever designed. Yes and no at the same time. Like, once again, we're not playing pure GMX, right? Like, if you just draw this card, it doesn't impact you in any way. It's just an extender / starter, right? It's like, doesn't take your normal summon. You can start with this because it's also, if it's a 1-card zombie vampire, you know what it also is? It's a 1-card Photon Lord, right? It's one, you can threaten Photon Lord before normal summoning with these cards. If that's what you want to do. If your hand already has starters, you can just make Photon Lord, right? If there's no locks attached to anything, then there's always potential to do something about these, right? And that is both interesting and scary at the same time. 2 level 3s is Cherubini. It's probably a Malice starter as well, by the way. Like if you can, I mean, Zombie Vampire is probably a Malice starter. This probably has no problem creating 2 level 3s and another body. So this is like literally Cherubini, send Dormouse, make Lizardos. Like, whether it's going to be good or not is a different question. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying there is a lot of potential here because we have a lot of bodies. We have bodies with good levels as well. We have good and matching levels. We have level 8 fusions that we can summon both of. So we make rank 8s really easily. We have level 1s, which is very relevant because of Yummy. We have a level 3 starter that can summon out another level 3 from the deck if you play a target for this. This is a 1-card rank 3 as well. It's a 1-card Cherubini if you want to. There's so much that you can do here. Did the card designers know this? Were they designed to be slop? I guess that's an interesting question, because you would think, like, if we can figure this out as the Yu-Gi-Oh community, of course, we look at these cards for like just a couple minutes or hours and we find these things, and it's like, it's hard to replace the hive mind of like so many Yu-Gi-Oh players that look at these cards. So I wonder if all of this is intended. But like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's not. I don't know if they want this to be a starter for Mitsu and Yami at the same time. But then once again, I feel like if you don't want that, then you got to make sure it's not. Yeah. They have to know. They kind of, right? Like you kind of have to realize that that's what all of it does, right? I think they wanted this to be a starter for Fur Hire, and it's hard to put a lock that works for Fur Hire. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I could see it. I think you are overhyping this. No, I'm just exploring possibilities. I haven't hyped it at all. I'm not saying it's gonna see play. I'm just saying like the potential is there. I'm not convinced it's gonna be good. I'm just saying like there is something here. And I feel like it's a weird approach to a new archetype that like it's essentially unplayable as its own deck. And the only realistic use case I can find for it is like all the combo slop we've just looked at, right? It's like that's essentially what I'm questioning is like, what's the idea here, right? It's like we're not going to play a GMX deck. All we're going to do is either not play these cards, or we're going to search Habakiri, or do Yami combo, or do Malice combo, or do whatever, right? And it's once you look past these card effects, like once you think about these for like 30 minutes, you will realize that that's kind of like all they do.